discussion, and you might see a new face here who's not really a new face, but he's a new face to the roundtable, and this is Bobby. Bobby, Bobby works a lot of hats here. You probably know him from working at the front desk and being an administrator, and he also helps with stocking the shelves and doing some of the physical work in the back. And some of you might know Bobby from some of the recommendations that he makes in the nutrition store. And one of the cool things about our place is everybody who works here has an expertise on something, right? There's nobody is just here randomly. This is my first job. My father or mother knew somebody. Can you hire them for the summer? Our people know things. They do things. And Bobby has possibly the most interesting background of anyone here. And now I'm going to step on your toes and really talk about you behind, well, not behind your back, but right to you.
Yeah.
Bobby was a head college wrestling coach, and prior to that, he was a very, very accomplished college wrestler, and prior to that, he was a very, very accomplished high school wrestler, and prior to that, there's a backstory.
Yes.
And of the many, many things that I admire about Bobby is your work ethic, and I've known a few wrestlers here and there, and it's just like it's industry standard. So why don't you just take a couple minutes and tell us about your background and what you've done and like some of the exciting things that you've done before you came here.
Well, thank you so much, Dr. Orbach, and it's definitely a pleasure to sit at the round table with you. My background is a little unique. I was a very accomplished high school wrestler, as Dr. Orbach said. I was in the national finals a couple times. Collegiately, I was ranked in the top 10, 8 in the country for about 3 years. After that, I competed in the U.S. Open.
Can we back up for just a quick second? So let's say there are approximately 300 Division I schools. There are approximately what 5-6 guys per weight class per team. So you're in the top 10 in the country. Do you realize how good you have to be the fifth guy on the worst team?
Well,
all right. I'm sorry.
I understand what you're saying, but it was the experiences that took it to a new level, and you hit on it. Work ethic, drive, family, things in life that you have to learn. You're not taught.
Right.
You're not taught work ethic. You learn work ethic. You learn discipline.
And would you say that learning that work ethic and learning that discipline, is it fair to say that some of it is just watching people around you who have it, but a big part of it is really just learning by doing, and it just becomes who you are?
Yeah, it's definitely repetition creates greatness.
Oh, yeah.
And I've always tried to live my life by, if you surround yourself around great people, you'll be great.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about that all the time. Like, if you're the average of your 5 best friends, then pick 5 good people because you want that.
And whatever you do in life, if you want to be the best chiropractor in the world, you surround yourself around the best chiropractor. If you want to be the best CEO in the world, you surround yourself around the best CEOs in the world, and you learn from them, and you take that knowledge and you put it all together from them people, and you make it your own.
Right. And then when you want to be the best at something, you hang out in the early stages. You hang out with people who are the best, and you absorb what they have, and then you reach a critical point where it's like, you know what? Time for me to start paying it forward and giving. And that's exactly what you did by accepting coaching jobs after you're very successful.
I was very fortunate. I was 25 years old. I was a Division I head wrestling coach. I was the youngest guy in the country when I got hired to do that, and it's a pretty challenging thing when you're dealing with 18 to 22 year olds, and you have to be the one that is the leader. Is the guidance for them, and you become mature really quick.
Well, you essentially have to be the adult in the room, and the room is made of people who really pretty much your peer group.
Exactly.
So that's the approach. I know that you bring the work, and I mean, whether you're stocking shelves or carrying boxes up or downstairs or checking people out, I mean, like, things don't go unnoticed around here. Like, we're a small company, and everybody's very well aware of what everybody else is doing. And you know, the talk about you behind your back is like, yeah, if I were going to break out and do something else, I'd want Bobby. In fact, I want 10 Bobbies to come and work with me.
Well, it's an honor that you say that, but we're a team here.
Yeah, of course we're a team.
And we all like
But
you said,
but we talk. I mean,
yeah.
like every family talks behind somebody's back. Every team talks behind somebody's back. And like, I think everybody who works here is somewhere between highly respectful and standing in awe of your work ethic and your desire, not just to help, but to learn the why of what you're doing in order to be able to do more tomorrow than you did today. And because I mean, my martial arts background is tiny compared to your wrestling background, but because of the background that I have, I know, like, I've met wrestlers, I know wrestlers, I know this is what it takes. And I mean, I joke around with you, and when you're not listening, somebody comment, well, he's a wrestler. What did you expect?
Yeah, we're a little bit. Sometimes I say I'm a little bit of a different cat, if you want to say.
Cat, I love it.
But the thing is, what a lot of people don't understand is I have a master's degree too.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of my most proud accomplishments because it wasn't easy. And when I was getting my master's degree, I was coaching, I was still competing and getting a master's degree. So you throw cutting weight in on top of trying to go to school and do term papers and train. You really got to learn time management skills. You got to be organized. You got to know where you want to go in life. And that's why I try and learn the products and do what I can so I can help the patients become the best that they can be in their life.
Sure. I know. I see that every day, that you answer the phone and somebody, like, I don't hear the other end of the conversation, but I hear you recommending the same product. Like, that's exactly what I would have recommended.
Well, it goes back to what you said. You listen.
Yeah.
You listen. I listen to you when you talk to people. Well, because I respect you very, very, very much. So when you talk, I listen. When Mike Gallagher talks, or people that know more than I do talk, you listen. Yeah. When you listen, you process.
Right. And I'm sure that's a lesson that you conveyed on all of your wrestlers. And, like, you know, most of practice is geared towards, let's drill down on this technique and let's do some conditioning and let's go live, but let's go 75% and not hurt each other. But every sport has those moments in the meeting room where the coach is the teacher, and just what is it that you're going to learn here today in wrestling practice that's going to be a valuable life skill, and just the importance of listening, processing, and critical thought along the way. Just it's invaluable.
You know, our sports, martial arts, wrestling, the background of it, there's technique and there's training hard, but the tactics, the strategies.
That's right. I love the strategy.
The things that
the why
you don't necessarily in practice you go over, but you have to mentally process through your
Sure.
I scored a takedown with 15 seconds left in the first period. If I hold this guy down, it's 2-0. He gets out, it's 2-1. That's a game changer.
That's right.
So it's all about, even you apply that to your life.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm doing this now. All right. I got to give it my all, because if I don't, then there's somebody going to come and try and take away what you have.
Always. They're out there. They're always out there.
So, I'll shift gears a little bit and go into my family. Right now, for a lot of people know, but a lot of people don't know, my mother's getting breast cancer surgery on Wednesday.
Yeah, our thoughts and prayers. So There are a lot of people who are extending thoughts and
Yeah,
prayers to you and your
but
family. And your
here's the
mother.
whole thing about it. If I didn't have my wrestling background
Mhm,
and I didn't cut weight
mhm,
and I hadn't been through the ringer,
right.
mentally, it might be the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Mhm.
And they say once you've wrestled, Dan Gable said, once you wrestled, everything else in life is easy. But this is testing everything I got.
Well, I'll bet it is, and we all the people who know you here
Yeah.
know what you're going through. Well, nobody knows what you're going through, but we know
Yeah.
the story, and we all admire that you're able to come to work and keep your head up and do what's expected to you at the standard that you've set,
Yeah.
and live up to, despite everything that's going on behind the scenes. So,
It's like this. You got a job to do.
right.
Things in life are always going to be moving, changing, going this way, going that way. Hey, 8:30, I'll be here.
Right.
If I'm not here, you'll know why. But
get
I'm
that.
dedicated to
I get that, yeah.
everything that I do in life.
Mhm.
Because if I don't show up, what's it do? It hurts you.
Well, the
The whole system breaks down.
Right. The gear shift misses a spoke, and the whole
Exactly.
machine doesn't turn.
So
Right.
when you're building a team, all your parts have to work together. And if
Right.
you have one part, this is where, I found out in my career, I coached for 20 years. Your best guy might be your problem.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing when you're a coach.
Yeah, right.
Because you're expected to win.
Right. Well, we see that on wrestling. Wrestling is not well represented on TV.
Yeah.
On the TV sports, we see superstars moving from team to team, and you got to ask yourself, like I'm thinking about the NBA in specific, that you see these guys who are just all world individually, and then they go and play on a team together, and the team is the sum of the parts is better than the team, and then you wonder about the guys they left behind who are actually breathing a huge sigh of relief to be done with them.
Yeah,
So that's a very important point that you bring up.
And I know you follow basketball very, very much, and I always admired Phil Jackson.
Yeah.
For how he could manage Phil Jackson and Pittsburgh. I know you're going to get mad at me, but Bill Belichick.
Yeah, you're right.
The way that they can manage the egos to all come together and win championships is amazing to me.
Not just win championships, but to do that year in and year out, and then you see with different rosters and different guys that you think, well, they had a magical run, and look at the guys they had, and then 2 years later they have a whole different group of guys, but they're on top of the leaderboard again. You're absolutely right about Phil Jackson and Bill Belichick for perfect examples.
I mean, in the other thing that I did a lot was I had a mentor named Bob McKillop. He was the head coach at Davidson College basketball, and he told me, Bobby, don't always go for the best athlete. He said the number one thing you look for is character.
Yeah.
Once you get character and you know they're a great person, the rest of it will all fall in place.
Right. It'll fit in. You can take a great character and find a spot for them in your machine, but the best athlete might tear your machine apart.
And, that person might not have the athletic ability of a 5-star recruit, but you can mold that person into what your game plan is.
Yeah,
and,
that makes sense.
And I'm not gonna. I'm not saying you brainwash them or anything, but you teach them the skills that work in order to keep success rolling. And I try, and even in wrestling or martial arts, I'm sure you want to see the wow move.
Always. I mean, that's what sells tickets.
Yeah, but it doesn't win championships.
No, it does not.
The basics win championships. The drilling a single leg, I don't know how many times.
Well, I remember watching the Shingitai National Jiu-Jitsu Championships, and these heavyweights who have 9th and 10th degree black belts, which means they've been at it for a minimum of 30 years. The first place guy beats the second place guy with a yellow belt level move. He just does it quicker. saw his opening and he took it. I mean,
Right.
and you can scale down on every combat sport. And the winner was a guy who was better at the basics.
Yeah, I mean that's what it boils down to.
Mhm.
And you know, since we're in health and nutrition, I
Yeah.
will say this: the evolution of chemistry,
Mhm.
health, nutrition in the sports world
Mhm.
is monumental from 20 years ago.
Oh, that's amazing.
I mean, if I would have known or I could have done what these athletes do today, where they test my blood,
right.
then they make my meals and they do that.
Mhm.
Hey, my dad was my nutritionist.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, and
Well, he did a good job. You have quite a career, so
but
we're not knocking
it
him.
was
We're
all
just
trial
saying,
and error.
yeah,
You
yeah, I
know,
get it. I
where
totally
these
get it.
scientists today really break it down. So
Mhm.
to all the athletes out there, if you really want to break down your career and gain knowledge and try and get the best nutrition, the World Wellness and Nutritional Frontiers definitely is a place you should start looking, because there's a lot of products that I've been in the industry 20 years. I didn't know half this stuff could make you more productive
Yeah.
on the mat, on the field, on the court. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah, and we talk about on the mat, on the fields, doesn't matter. You're absolutely right that this is all sports nutrition.
Mhm.
But if you look around if you spend a week or 2 weeks as a fly on the wall, just watching who our clientele is as they rotate in and
Mhm.
out, there are some very, very athletic people who play at a high level and prestigious leagues, and there's no
course.
question about that. But those are the outliers. That our clientele are like I want to be able to have the strength and the endurance to work in my garden for 2 hours.
Right. Right.
I want to have the strength and the endurance to carry my groceries from my car
Mhm.
up 2 flights of steps
Mhm.
after a long day of
Mhm.
work. And one thing that I think we're very, very good at is meeting people where they are, and we're going to help them become where they want to be, not where we think they should be.
Yeah.
And that's one of the strengths of our
uh-huh.
establishment here.
And I agree with you 100%, because that's the first question I ask. What do you want to get out of
Yeah,
this?
right, exactly.
Because I might see a total different vision,
hmm
but you're the one that did the research before you came in.
Yeah.
You looked at it and okay, what do you want to get out of this? Okay, I have this issue. Well, here's the products that maybe can help you out.
hmm
What route do you want to go? There's definitely things for energy. There's things for gut. We have a variety of things that
Yeah,
can
sure.
definitely help
Sure.
people of all ages. It just doesn't matter.
And whether somebody is a high end athlete or whether they're a weekend warrior or whether they're somebody who wants to be able, it's a beautiful day and I want to spend as much of it being productive in the garden as possible. There are certain universal principles, and you just touched on a very big one. It was gut health.
Mm-hmm.
You are not going to wrestle at a high level with a dysfunctional gut, and you are not going to function in your everyday life with a dysfunctional gut. And the vastness of body symptoms, body systems, and the vastness of conditions. Look, I don't like the word cure. I mean, we don't cure anything,
Right.
but the people that we can help, the people that we can make improvements with, it's mind boggling. It really is.
I mean, it is amazing to see the success stories that have happened here. I mean, I'm sure you've seen over your 20 years, you've seen more and more and more. And, you hear about people and how they talk. And I mean, one lady this week told me how I was telling a story about my mother, and she's like, I took some of these products and the tumor came out by itself.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And it's real too. I mean, I don't want to sit here and guarantee everybody listening in that this product, that product, and the other one in concert with another are going to cause your body to expel your tumors. But it's happened before. It's going to happen again. It might happen for you.
Right.
So let's not be neglectful of what
It's like we talk all the time. If you take one product and I take one product, it's going to affect you different than it's going to affect me. So you got to be patient with it. You got to be willing to do a little bit of trial and error. But the thing about the products is you got to be consistent.
That's true. Let me ask you this. I mean, I'm getting that wrap it up gesture from IT Savant Phil over there, and I know you're gonna have to get back to work, and I have to get back to work. But let me ask you one question: If of everything that you've experienced here,
Mhm.
if you could have a lifetime gift certificate for one product, what has been the single best product for you personally?
For me
Yeah.
personally, it's definitely Probzyme because
Okay.
of my gut,
Okay.
and I had a really major surgery about 10 years ago, and it definitely helps me digest the food
Hmm.
that I eat. I take 2 before I eat,
Hmm.
and it's been amazing for me.
Now, I asked that question to most of the patients that I have kind of good nutritional
Uh,
rapport with, and a lot of our customers. And you're certainly not the first person to say Probzyme. It's a
mhm.
great product. But the amazing thing is like that question, like, come on, one and only one. What's your
Mhm.
magic bullet? And Probzyme, if we were going to make a list of 10, Probzyme is probably in the top half of the top 10
Right,
for
right.
for those people.
Uh-huh.
But you ask that question of so many different people, you get so many different answers,
Uh-huh.
and there's no wrong answer because the
There
question is
is it.
qualified by for you. What
Mhm.
is it? And I think that right there is a tribute to what it is that we're all doing here. That
Mhm.
for you and you only, and you only, what
Mhm.
is it? And
Yeah.
then we're going to get different answers, but all of them are satisfied by what we have going on here.
It's what makes us all unique
and,
individuals and human beings.
and isn't that the truth? So on that note, this was great.
Yeah, no
Thanks for
problem,
joining on
man.
the
Pleasure.
roundtable.
Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah, and I think there are more presentations later in the afternoon. I know there's stuff going on all week. I know there's stuff going on all month. God willing, there's stuff going on here for the next decade. But
So,
that's going to be it for now.
yeah, don't forget it's Christmas in July, so get on down to the wellness center so you can get the 30% off all month.
Okay.